Welcome back to Project Syrian as we try and build a race car in New Zealand. While the car's away getting its roll cage and safety gear fitted, we thought it'd be a good chance to come here to Chicane to talk about the safety gear that we as the drivers have to wear. So let's go inside. Okay, this is my old friend Shane Drake. Shane, nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Hedgie.
Shane's been running Chicane Motorsport, supplying clothing, safety gear, team wear for what, 22 years now?
22, yeah. It seems like an eternity. But, yeah.
And you came from a racing background, obviously?
Yeah. I mean, finished racing and bought the company that supplied me my race gear. So a bit of a story back then, but it's been a cool journey and a lot's changed.
So you've got a lot of gear here. Some of it is branded Chicane, so you're still making FIA standard gear?
We're still making suits, not to the FIA standard anymore, but we still make suits and we still do repairs and a few other little bits and niche products for other industries. But yeah, we're the only manufacturer left in New Zealand. So whilst we don't do everything anymore, we still do it.
So we're going racing with this Daihatsu. We'll be racing in anything from a clubman's to a national level race meeting. So I guess the first question is, what are we going to be wearing? Why do we wear race suits? To look cool, right?
Well, it depends on your objective, Dave.
We're very lucky because we've been involved, as you know, in motorsport production for many years, and recently we had to buy our own race suits because we are involved in endurance racing, and all the television crews and the media in endurance racing need to be wearing a two-layer suit. So I've got some of our suits here. Let's go through them, and you can tell me the difference and why I should or shouldn't be wearing them.
Sure.
Okay, so these are the suits that we wear for work. The first one is a single layer clubman's, I guess, which we have to wear underwear with to make it a 1.5 layer suit effectively.
Yeah, look, that's the sort of suit that you'd wear at a very entry club sport, motorsport event, like a gymkhana type thing, very, very entry, or a track day. And you can put the underwear on that to make it a double layer suit, but that's not going to be enough to go racing in what you're thinking of doing.
Okay, so we'll put that one aside. It's a good mechanics or cameraman suit. Right, the next one is this one here, which I believe is a double layer suit, right?
Yep, it's an Alpine Stars 2-layer suit, FIA approved. So that's what you can wear in club, national, some international spec.
Right,
level,
right.
And that's a two relatively entry two-layer suit.
Yeah, and it's got the year of manufacture on it, and it's got the standard, obviously. So, what does that all mean?
Well, year of manufacture gives you an idea when it was built, and that's to the older FIA standard, which will expire internationally in 2028 now. All right. So when we get to your new suit, we'll be able to look at the difference. Right.
Okay. So this is our triple layer suit.
Yep.
The best of the one we've got, and the one which I would prefer to be wearing, obviously. It's once again, it's an Alpine Stars, a very, very nice design. One of the reasons we chose this is because of the orange colour in it, which matches our company logo. But we do have our company logo on it, but that's not just a matter of putting some embroidery on, right?
No, you have to. We either have to. The logo has to be on the outer layer of the suit only, or we make up a fire retardant patch and we sew it on using fire retardant thread, which we've done here.
Right, okay, that's pretty simple. So this standard, different again.
Yeah, so this is the new FIA standard, what we call 8856/2018, and you'll see here it's got a not valid after date of 2029. Right, so internationally, like if you run in WRC in 2030, you wouldn't be allowed to wear that suit. So you get 10 years out of this new standard. So they've changed the way that they operate it from when it was built to now when it expires. And this is the new standard, and this is this level of suit that Romain Grosjean was wearing a few years back when he had that big barbecue in Bahrain. And this suit and the new underwear standard offers you about another 5 seconds.
Well, let's talk about how much protection you're actually going to get. So start with the single layer, which, as I said, is basically for us is for use in pit lane, for our cameramen in case there's a flash fire or something like that. How much protection with underwear are they going to have from that?
Oh, look, with underwear, you're probably going to get around about anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds type thing.
Right.
Okay, just pending. But just remember that none of these suits will catch fire.
Right.
Right? Not unless they have an accelerant on them. So nothing just burns. It's the heat that's going to get you before before the flame type thing.
And our 2-layer here?
Yeah. Well, that will give you in the vicinity of probably around about 9 to 12 as well. And
I always prefer to wear underwear with it as well. So that gives us a bit of extra
You're going to get a few more out of that as well.
Right.
And then with the triple layer, and look, not. Just because it's AAA doesn't actually really mean that it offers more protection. Right. Just go about their business differently to offer, modern lightweight alternatives. But this suit, along with the new underwear, will give you about 17 seconds.
Wow.
So it is quite an improvement on the other standard, and hence it's a bit heavier. So is the underwear. So is everything else, but it's just there to give the wearer a bit more protection. And look at Grosjean. I could probably fairly, credibly say that if he wasn't wearing this new spec stuff, he would have been a mess.
Yeah. How do they test? What's the FI do to test it? Literally put a blowtorch against it?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they don't, but the test houses do. But they check the outer fabrics, they check the inner fabrics, they check the thread. This is fireproof. Right. The zipper has got to be tested. That's fireproof. The Velcro has got to be fireproof. Wow. The cuff's got to be fireproof. And then once they test that, then they test it all together. Yeah. And authorise a homologation number, which is.
Let's talk about that because these two suits here both have the FIA label on it. As much as anything, this is a holographic label, which proves that it's not counterfeit. Now, we've in New Zealand, Motorsport New Zealand have even recently put out warnings about counterfeit suits, and so it's, how's that come about, and how do I look out that I'm not, being sold a counterfeit suit?
I guess there's a number of ways we can do it, Dave. I mean, at the end of the day, some brands are more susceptible to be counterfeited than others. You should be looking on the back of the neck to see whether or not it's got the right numbers. Yep. You can go and check that. You're certainly secondary looking for that holographic label. Yep. And if anyone, that's sort of destruct on removal too. So if someone tries swapping it over to another suit, it's no good. And I guess you just got to look at what you're paying. If it's a fifth of the price, then it's probably
you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah, 100%. But a lot of people don't sort of see it that way. Yeah. But it's just you've just got to keep your ears and eyes open. I think the sport does enough here. It's just people being greedy. Yeah.
Now I'll bring in some old artifacts here from my days when I was rallying about 20 years ago. So which I found in the wardrobe. So this is a RPM, I think that's a pure wool, or that might be a Nomex balaclava. But like I said, over 20 years old.
Yeah. So the biggest thing about these things these days, Dave, is while they were good back in the day, is that they have no real labelling on them of A, a standard, or B, what they're made of. And that's probably the difference today, is that they have got to have a content label. They've got to have a origin label on them, right? And they've got to potentially, for what we asked for today, in what you're talking about going racing in, you've got to have an identification of either the FIA label or a motorsport type label or a American SFI label type thing. So I mean that one there doesn't have anything. So you might want to go and use that on a practice day or a track day, because it is a fireproof balaclava, but the guy that's scrutineering you doesn't.
Right. Yep. And then my old Chicane race boots, which didn't get a lot of use, They do have a label on them, but like I said, that's a 2000 standard.
Yeah, that's an old standard
very,
now,
very old standard.
and had expired for that particular boot, but still a fireproof, a 100% suede or leather lined with Nomex. Yep, and they've got to have fireproof laces. They've got to have a non-drip sole. So all of those things you have to submit when you're wanting to homologate. So,
I mean, the other thing is that clothing design, boot design has come a long way as well, right? So let's have a look at some of the more modern style of boot that you can buy and what it offers you. So this is my boot, circa probably 1998, maybe 2000, and this is the latest from Alpine Stars. So tell me about the differences.
Well, first thing you can see is that this was way short compared to what they were, and that changed about 12 odd years ago.
Although the difference at the back is probably very similar, right?
Yeah. So, some people still prefer that protection, but it's just not available. But now they're just a short boot. It just helps you get a little bit more manoeuvrability,
right?
When you're on the pedals, dancing away. Pretty flash-looking boot. I mean, this is full leather. This is suede. You can see it's got all printed logos on it, whereas this one is embroidered. And the reason they do that is two things. One is weight, and the other one is just restrictions in certain areas of the embroidery not being able to stretch around where your foot is.
Right.
So these are a ultra high performance shoe, and we designed those back in the day to guys like you that are co-drivers, so nice big fat sole on them to stop you getting stone bruises.
Right.
And I mean, they still did a great job, and they hardly ever wore out. But these things are very much focused on performance. A really thin sort of sole. You've got you've got a strap there to give you a little bit more support. A new technique around the back of the heel to make the boot sort of feel part of you.
Yep.
Because what you got to remember is that these things and gloves are your tools.
Right.
The brain telling you what to do.
The more you can feel through the shoe, the more you can feel through your glove, the more you can feel through your ass, basically. The faster and better you can drive a car.
100%. They're your tools.
Yeah.
This thing only tells them what to do.
Well, let's go and have a look at gloves, eh? Well, another two gloves from Alpine Stars, but quite different design here, Drakey.
Yeah, I mean, this is our entry-level glove, Dave. FIA approved, as you can see there, and again, it's got to carry both gloves, got to carry the holographic label. A little bit different now to probably what your old ones were, although you probably weren't using them as a co-driver, but these are a grip as well as a heat-resistant grip to offer you a little bit more protection. But again, a lot of technology, pre-bent fingers in the gloves. This one here's got a swipe finger if you want to look at your data. This one here is, also got external stitching versus internal, so the seam is away from your finger. So some people really like that. This is the F1 glove, basically. Right.
All right.
Also,
I noticed a nice little thing here. They've actually split the logo. So that you've got more flexibility in there. Very clever.
And something like when you get up to this level, they've got grip on the inside, so there's no slippage against your hand when you're changing gear. I mean, obviously, but it's on the wheel as well. But I mean, amazing product, and again, it's a very key tool in your performance.
And of course, now in motorsport, as you say, unless you're a co-driver, or maybe doing a gymkhana, you have to wear gloves. These are mandatory now. And there's a good reason for that, because not only do they give you fire protection, but you have more control over the car if you're wearing a glove.
Foggy will probably just dispute that, the king of no gloves. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, what's the first thing that happens if you're in a shunt, you're on fire? You've got to put your hands out to to get out of the vehicle. And they're going to be exposed and potentially
not only that, but potential for broken glass, so that sort of thing. There's debris and that sort of thing can come into the car. So this is all good protection, right? Okay, well, let's start with the balaclava. Interesting, traditionally balaclavas have been sort of this cream colour, but now dyed material is okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, whatever they've homologated is fine, but yeah, you don't sort of see too many light-coloured balaclavas anymore. The other stuff does cost more, but it's clearly just probably a cool look or a clean look.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people say to me, oh, but, you know, you're going to get hot. But at the end of the day, if you're going to sunbathe in your balaclava and your black underwear, then you probably deserve to get hot.
True.
You know, but it's clean and it looks clean, whereas, you know, you see the sweat marks involved around something like that, then it does look a bit huckery. But, you know, don't forget that all of the stuff that we're talking about, apart from your gloves and boots, you can wash. You know, you're not going to wash any fire retardants out of it. That stuff's not allowed. That's long gone, 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is a Chicane set, sold as a set. As you see, a light-coloured FIA approved. You can see the labels there. And then what you've got is a couple of Alpine Stars balaclavas and the Alpine Stars top, and they're sold separately, top and bottom. But you know, again, all FIA approved to the latest standard.
FIA approved and SFI approved. Just
no.
quickly,
Well, that's just the packaging. The SFI is an American standard, which is accepted down our way,
right?
And Speedway in Australia,
right?
So it is a relatively good alternative. It's just where a few problems lay as well with counterfeiting out of the Middle East. So
okay, so just putting this aside, a couple of things here that I noticed is that double layer on the front.
Yeah, so all balaclavas that are FIA homologated must have 2 layers from your ears forward. Right. So it's just offering your face and your neck that little bit more protection, and then it's single layer on the top, single layer on the back, because you don't want it too thick inside your helmet.
And I noticed both of them have a small hole in the front here. I guess that's
drink tube hole, or your earphones that come out through there versus bring it out underneath your balaclava, all right, and sort of restricting or opening an area for flames to get in.
Now, I see some of the Formula One drivers have their microphone actually sewn into the balaclava. Is that has to be done in the factory? Or
I honestly don't know too much about that, but
I don't think we'll need to worry about that.
There is a few mods there, but some of them offer some packaging, different sort of areas of comfort for them. You know, they've got a little bit of cushioning in them for what reason I don't know, but you know, Formula One drivers are pretty special, so you can they have to make some exceptions.
Well, of course, the final piece of the safety jigsaw puzzle is your helmet, and it's a very personal choice as to what you want to wear. But if you are going to buy a motorsport helmet, it does have to have what we call Hans posts, so that a neck and head protection device can be attached to it. So let's go and have a look at some of those and some of those neck and head devices. Pulled out a couple of helmets off the shelf here. This is the HJC helmet, which is your entry-level price point helmet.
Bread and butter, I call it.
Yeah.
Bread and butter. I mean, it's a great helmet.
Yep. And this, of course, the RI helmet, which is a lot more expensive, but has many benefits, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, they're both going to offer you exactly the same protection, but the white one is a composite material and the black one is fiberglass. So clearly the black one is going to be a bit heavier. So if you're in it for weight, then you choose the composite model. The white one is also SA and FIA approved, so you can actually go and wear that, you know, in Formula, well, not Formula One, but you know, a high end international category. Whereas the black one is just SA rated as well. Made in Japan, made in Korea. 2 really good helmets. This one here is actually made in 2 head sizes.
Right. Because fit's really important, right? And helmet choice is very much a personal thing. Some helmets, I mean, I know I've driven motorbikes for years, so I know that, you know, there's some helmets that I would love to have as a motorcycle helmet that just don't fit me.
Yeah.
So it's the same with, it's really important that you
this is probably one of your most important purchases to make sure that it fits right. I mean, you talk about the most fragile part of your body, and it's got to fit right. It's got to be firm. You know, people come in and they sort of go, oh, it's too tight, and you know, it falls on their head. Well, you know, we don't like that. I mean, at the end of the day, they've got to be firm type thing, sort of like say to some of them sometimes, put your helmet on, don't do the strap up, and I'm going to hang you upside down by your ankles, and if it falls off, it's too loose.
Exactly. And of course, we talked about they call it an M6 terminal, but it's basically a metric thread M6, which the head restraint
bolts to.
Yep. Right? So let's see how that all works. So you've got 2 different types of head restraint here, right?
Yep.
I think the first one we've probably seen a lot of, but that's the Hans device, right?
Yeah, it's a internationally recognised device. It's been around for 25 odd years. First one that they ever made. Sits up on top of your shoulders like so. That sits behind your helmet, against your seat, and this comes down your body, and your straps go over that. So that's a traditional, Hans device. Built in quite a few different configurations.
Yeah, I mean, once again, weight, right? You can from your Club Sport one to your FIA Formula One one. Big difference is weight, right? They all do the same job.
Exactly. It's a bit like to your helmet. You can buy one of these for $700, or you can spend $2,700 on a carbon one.
Right.
So, but they're going to do exactly the same job.
Yeah.
And then we also offer, and this goes around a few other different devices. Next gen, which is quite different. You look at it and go,
yeah,
blimey. But that sits more on the back of your shoulder. It doesn't have any interference with the back of your helmet. It doesn't have any interference with the front of your body either.
Right.
So you can actually see more when you're looking down. But this is an SFI approved device. That's an FIA one. So you couldn't go and wear this in the WRC.
No.
Toyota Racing Series, you have to have something like that, or the Simpson hybrid system. But for a
national race meeting in New Zealand, this is
listen. This is a very comfortable device. Takes 3-inch belts if required. If you've got an old collarbone injury from motorcycling or push biking, these things hurt.
Really aggravate.
At the end of the day, you're raw.
Yeah.
So different strokes for different folks, just like the helmet. But you've got to have something that suits your shape and your body style. That's the most crucial part.
Well, that's been great, Shane. Thanks for that, because there's so much to think about when you're going and buying gear. I guess the other advantage is if you can come to a shop like this, then you can see everything that's available, right?
Yeah, you can touch and feel, know the difference between your single layer suit and your double layer suit and your triple. Sizing, not all manufacturers have sizing that is the same. Some go from a large to a double XL type thing, and where others have smaller increments. We've just got to ask the questions, which helps you make.
And if you're an unusual size, then people like Alpine Stars can custom make
they do.
You.
Yeah, there is plenty of manufacturers out there now, but they're on the other side of the world.
So it's not going to be something you're going to get from the shop on the day, right?
No. Being a manufacturer, we can do that, or we can make those alterations to a suit to suit whether or not it's shrunk in the closet in the winter, or you're just growing.
Well, of course, there's one more thing you can do, and that's these are Chicane shirts that we use at work. So team gear, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to have it's actually quite a small investment to put everyone that's working on the car in the same team gear, and it kind of brings the level of your team right up really quickly, and I think it's a really good thing to do.
Well, we've all learnt that of Owen Evans, haven't we?
Yes.
People spend their money on their suit, put their commercial partners on it, or whether their own or sponsors, and then they go, I wouldn't mind a shirt to look smart, and then a cap, then a jacket, and then the pants. So you're all dressed up and giving the best possible return to those people that are throwing money at you.
So there you go. It's a one-stop shop.
So there you have it, racewear in a nutshell. A big thanks to Shane for talking to us about his racewear. If you're in the market for any racewear or safety equipment, feel free to check out Chicane's website in the link below. Until next time, bye for now.